Good morning, dear student. Today we are going to study our second part of English lesson 1.2 on saying please. Okay, we are going to discuss the fourth passage of our lesson. In the fourth passage, the writer he has encountered faced one conductor, bus conductor, who was having very good nature, well mannered, and the writer's feeling of unfriendliness to the conductor is that what happened one day the writer he traveled in the bus and later on he discovered that he did not have any kind of penny. Okay, the writer is penniless. He did not have money to give the fare to the bus conductor. Then what happened? This conductor he was having very cordial nature, very friendly nature, and he says that if you don't have the money, then no doubt you give me later on. Okay, on the same route from Hong Kong Bank. There is a writer mentioned the one name of the bank, Hong Kong Bank. It is in London. So he says that okay, no problem. Then the writer started searching the money in his pocket, but the pocket he has missed at home. So what happened? Then later on he has tried his level best and he found one coppers. Copper is a small unit of the pound. Okay, and he gave to the bus conductor, and the bus conductor he said that don't worry, if you don't have money, you give me some other day. Or at I am very used to of this rule from Hong Kong Bank. You will see me at that time. You can give me at any time, no problem. So what happened? This attitude of the bus conductor has appealed the writer too much, and he was very much appreciated. Writer very much appreciated the his behavior, the good manners of the conductor, and it touches the chord of the heart of the writers. Then what happened? He traveled without money. So later on, what happened? Positive attitude of the conductor touched the chord of the heart of the writer. Okay. Then the writer was penniless for a moment. Then later on he found some copper. Copper is a unit of smallest unit of the pound. Okay, and he made the payment, and later on he has settled the fare. Okay, so here in this passage the writer he says that if you are having good manners, if you are having good manners, then people will appreciate your personality. If you are having a bad manners, then in this way you will become infectious to the society. You will infect the society as well as the world. Okay. So this is the story of the fourth passage. Now let us have a glance over text, and we will try to fill up the gap wherever it is overlapping. Now let us have a glance over text. Move to page number 16. It is not therefore with any feelings of unfriendliness of to conductor as a class that I paid tribute to a particular member of that class. I first became conscious of his existence one day when I jumped onto a bus and found that I had left home without any money in my pocket. Everyone has that experience and knows the feeling, the mixed feeling which the story arises. You are annoyed because you look like a fool at the best and like a man at the worst. So writer says that once I traveled in the bus, and after sitting on the bus, what happened? I found that my purse is missing at the home, and I don't have money. And in this way, I feel very bad because might be the conductor will think that he's a dishonest person. He's having a money. He don't want to give me the money. He don't want to purchase the fare of the ticket for the journey. Okay, so I like that way, and in this way negative impression will go in the mind of the conductor, and he will think that so and so person, the passenger is cheating with me. Okay, this cheating impression will get in the mind of the conductor. So in this way the writer he was in a dilemma for a moment. You would not be at all surprised if the conductor eyed you coldly as much as to say, yes, I know that it's still old trick. If suppose the conductor he will say that this is very old trick. You don't teach me that you don't have money. Okay, now you have to pay the fare. Okay, so in this way the negative impression will go, and might be the conductor would say the passenger this is very old trick. Oh, I have forgotten my purse at home. I don't have money. So you travel me without money on this journey. So he was about hear this thing from the conductor. Even if the conductor is a good fellow and lets you down easily, you are faced with the necessity of going back and the inconvenience perhaps of missing your train or your engagement. So what happens if under such circumstances, if the conductor would tell you get or if you don't have money fare, you get down from the bus or train. So in this way, what will happen? You will miss your important meetings, engagement, important business transaction might affect. So this point the writer says that you will come into a dilemma and this would be inconvenience for you. Okay. Having searched my pocket in a way for stray coppers and having found I was utterly penniless. Penniless means without money. I told the conductor with a dishonest face and I could assume that I couldn't pay the fare and must go back for money. So what happened? The conductor he comes, he demanded the ticket to the writer and the writer says that I am penniless. Now I don't have money. Okay, first I have forgotten at home. So my conductor with an honest face, I could assume that I could pay the fare. And then I started searching in my pocket and fortunately I got some small coppers that is the smallest unit of the pound in the UK, United Kingdom, England. So what happened? He got and he gave it back to the conductor and in this way he has purchased the ticket. You need not outgo and all right said, but I haven't put copper on me. Copper is a small coins of low value of pound. Oh, I will book you through. He replied, where he would want to go, and he handed his bundle of tickets with the air of a man who was prepared to give me a ticket for anywhere from the Bank of Hong Kong. Bank of Hong Kong. Bank of Hong Kong is in London. Bank of Hong Kong. Hong Kong. So this bank is in London, United Kingdom. Bank of Hong Kong. So he took the ticket from the Bank of Hong Kong and let on the conductor give a bunch of the tickets to the writer. And in this way he traveled from Bank of Hong Kong. I said it was very kind of him and I told him when I wanted to go and he gave me the ticket. I said, but where shall I send the fare? Oh, you will see me someday, alright. He said that now I don't have money. Okay, then later on he discovered some coin and he gave and he made the settlement of the payment. So the conductor he was very honest and he was having touch on the writer and he says that someday you will find me on this route. Very often I am doing my duty on this route, means a Bank of Hong Kong. Someday you find me and later on you give me the money, no problem. Now you can't go to your home. Okay, don't try to go home. You continue your journey. Then what is this? Oh, you will see me someday, alright. He said cheerfully, means happily. He turned to go and then luckily my fingers still wandering in the corner of my pockets, lighter was shielding and the account was square. Square means settled. It's given textbook settled. But the fact did not lessen the glow of pleasure and which so good nature and action had given me. So in this way, the writer he was also very much impressed by the conductor and he liked the mannerism of the conductor very much and he appreciated the manners in which the conductor behaved with the writer and writer he liked this attitude of the conductor very much and he appreciated that bus conductor. Though he was slow-bearing employee, but he was having respect for the passengers. He is very much concerned about his passenger. So this attitude and behavior of the conductor was very much appeal to the writer. So this is the story of the fourth passage. Now we are going to discuss the fifth passage. Now fifth passage. Let us have glance over the fifth passage. In the fifth passage, what happened? Writer's toe was crushed. Then what happened? Writer was very much used to. He was traveling in the bus in London, and one day, one conductor he was collecting the money and giving the ticket to the passenger, and his toe is this finger spring of the leg. Toe was crushed by the conductor, and in this way the conductor he said that, oh sorry, please apologize me for this, I have crushed your toe. And conductor he apologized the rider for this incident. Conductor he apologized the rider for this incident, and rider was his leg was paining too much because it was very heavy. Then what happened? Foot manners of conductors appeals the rider, and he said that bad manners are infectious. It will affect not only society but also whole world. So bad manners are not welcome anywhere, all over the society or all over the world. If we encounter incivility, what is saying? If we encounter this phrase. If we encounter incivility means impoliteness. Then what happened? Most of us are become uncivil. So it is not necessary. We should not behave. If someone is misbehaving with us, give the reply in a positive way. Okay. If someone is using you, you should not abuse them. You should keep up with them politely. So had the bus conductor, he behaved in a very polite manner, and this bus conductor, this first quick passage, what happened? He is very much concerned about his passenger. If any old men are coming in the bus, he used to help them. If some blind passenger comes, he used to cross the road, and if some small children and women and old women are coming at that time in the bus, at that time he is taking utmost care of his passenger. So this is the fifth passage. Again we will going to discuss the good manners of a bus conductor. Nowadays of the glance over the text of the first fifth passage. A few days after, my most sensitive toe was tempered on rather heavily as I sat reading on top of a bus. I looked up with some anger and more agony and saw my friend of the cheerful countenance. Countenance means face. Sorry sir, he said, I know these are heavy boots. Got them because my own feet get out so much, and now I am treading on other people's. Hope I didn't hurt you, sir. I had hurt him. He had hurt me, but he was so nice. But it had assured him he hadn't. After this, I began to serve him wherever I boarded in his bus, and found a curious pleasure in the constant good nature of his bearing. He seemed to have an inexhaustible fund of patience and a gift for making his passenger comfortable. I noticed that it was raining. He would run up the stair to give someone a tip that there was room inside. With old people, he was so concentrated as a son. With children, as solicitous as a father. He had evidently a peculiarly warm place in his heart for young people, and always indulged in some merry jest with them. If he had a blind man on a board, it was enough to set him and safely on the pavement. He could call to him in front to wait while took him across the road or round the corner, otherwise safety on his way. In short, I found that he irradiated such atmosphere of good temper and kindliness that journey with him was a lesson in natural courtesy, good manners. What struck me particularly was the ease with which he got with his work. If a bad manners are infectious, so also a good manners. If we encounter incivility, most of us are apt to become uncivil, but it is unusual, untold person who can be disagreeable with sunny people. It is with manners as with the weather. Nothing clears up the spirit like a fine day. Now the writer has given the example of John Keats. He is a very famous English poet. He can learn the lesson. And he says that Keats and a cheerful person listen, or even the gloomiest of us is something of the benedictions of fine day, and so it was always fine weather of the polite conductor bus. His own civility, his constantly address and good humor infectious his passenger. The light of the street highlighted his gaiety was graceful, dazzling, and sound investment. The writer is saying that the manner of the bus conductor, though he was no great employee, but he was having a politeness, polite nature. So when any small child is coming, the school-going children are coming in the bus, he treats them as his own son. Okay, if any old man comes in the bus, he treats them just like a father. If any Miss blind man is coming on the bus, on the boarding, he is giving them the place. He is very much considerate about his passengers, and his behaviorism, his mannerism was very much appeal to the writer, and in this way the writer, he said that means this manners of a bus conductor is very good, and he said that if suppose anybody is misbehaving with you, you should not misbehave with them, you should reply them in a positive way. Okay, in this way, if you do so, then definitely you are giving the good manners to the society around you, society and the people of the society who are living around you, and in this way you can make a very good society in your vicinity. This is the story of the fifth passage. Now we are going to discuss the last passage, passage number 6 of our lesson. What writer says, I have missed him from the bus good to late, but I hope that only means that he has had his sunshine to another road. It cannot be too widely diffused in a rather dark world, and I make no apologies for writing a panegyric as a good bus conductor. If Wordsworth could gather lessons of wisdom from the poor niche gatherer or the lonely mood, I see no reason why lesson people should not take lesson in conduct. So, as the writer says that Wordsworth, William Wordsworth was very great poet of English literature. He can learn the lesson from the poor niche gatherer. So, the writer has quoted the name of one book, Resolution and Independence. In this way, the Wordsworth he learned the lesson from the poor niche gatherer. Then why we people cannot learn the lesson from low grade employee, okay, bus conductor, okay, whoever it may be in our society, newspaper boy, okay, milkman, sweeper, but what thing is that what they say, we ourselves are responsible. We are putting the garbage, and we are saying that in a negative way to the sweeper. We are saying that sweeper man comes in our society, is cleaning the floor. So we ourselves are sweeper, because we are throwing the garbage. We are in fact doing the infection in our society, and we are blaming to the person who are in service for us. To them we are degrading. This is a very bad manners. Next, it is a matter of general agreement that the war has had a chilling effect upon those everyday civilities of behavior that suited the general end. We must get those civilities back if we are to make life kindly and tolerable for each other. We cannot get them back by invoking the law. The policeman is necessary symbol, and the law is necessary institution for society. That is still some whatever lower than the angels. But the law can only protect us against material attack. So the writer is said that police is for us. Police is for the service. Police is in the service. In the service for what? For the giving you the protection. If so that the society crime should not take place. Okay, and the courts are for us to give us the verdict. So these are the institutions. These are for the welfare of the people who are living in the democracy. So police is for us, courts are for us, and all the low-grade employees who are giving us service, we should appreciate them. We should acknowledge their service. That point of the writer is saying to us that we should respect them. We should cooperate them. Okay. Nor will the liftman swear to meeting moral affront, but physical violence help us to restore the civility. I will suggest to him that he would have had more subtle effective revenge if he had treated the gentleman who had not simply the elaborate politeness. He would have the victim not only over the bull, but over himself, and that is the victim that counts. Polite men lose the material advantage, but he always has the spiritual victory. I comment to the liftman to a story. Chesterfield, in this time the London streets were without the pavements of today, and the man who put the wall had the driest footing I never knew, or one who responded, said a man who met Chesterfield one day in the street. I also said Chesterfield, stepping up a boat into the road. I hope that the liftman will agree with his revenge was much more sweet than if I had done a fellow with the mud. Chesterfield is the English statesman, author and patron of letters. Chesterfield. Okay, this is the name of the writer. Lord Chesterfield. He was born in 1694 and he was died in 1773. He was an English statesman, author and patron of letters. So the writer has given the reference of Chesterfield in our text, and in this way, in the last passage, the writer he has drawn a conclusion. He has summed up the entire lesson. He says that whatever the people who are giving us service, we must acknowledge them. Okay, these courts, police, everything, every government institution is for us, is for the welfare of the general public. They are serving us. We must always respect them. We must cooperate them. So what the liftman did, he threw away the passenger. So he was not right. He did a mistake, and means there is no need to throw away the passenger. If he is not saying please, doesn't matter. And for the private matter, no law is going to govern, administer, and if suppose I am behaving in a bad manners to anybody, so you cannot go the law code and say that he is misbehaving with me. For moral conduct, there is no law and there is no ruling. So the moral of the lesson is that we should respect our subordinate. Okay, our subordinate, always respect them, always cooperate them, and always acknowledge the service whatever they are giving to us. We should always say thank you, please, pardon, excuse me. So these are the words which is going to add the positivity in your personality. So in this lesson, the writer he has given us the message that we should always respect the low grade employee also, our subordinate also, and we should not infect the people with bad manners. So let us take the oath that from now onwards we all will behave in a positive attitude to all the people who are living around us, who are giving us the service to all of us. Okay, so this is the message of the lesson. Now we have learned today. So dear student, if you have any doubt regarding this passage, you can contact me on our YouTube channel and give your comment on the comment box section. Thank you.